Hey friends, so I have been processing through some different feelings and some stuff that's going on inside of my head over the past several months since we've actually moved back to Nashville. And it's just been one of those things that I've been kind of feeling like, man, what? Like, we live in the neighborhood I want to live in. We are, doing really well with our new company. God is really blessing those things. And how come I have this feeling inside that I can't quite figure out? Um, and it's kind of like been gnawing at me, and like it's probably been frustrating Steve, and just it's irritating to have this feeling of like, why do I feel not overjoyed by this? And I am happy. Like I am super happy that we have decided to come back to Nashville and all of these things. But what I've realized, and we are attending Crosspoint Church, which is the church that Steve is an executive pastor at for a long time. So we're back into the swing of things. We believe in that church. We love the staff and believe in the direction of the ministry. And so we are happy to be back. But what I've recognized is there's such a deep loss of what we were a part of, and we chose to leave. We chose to move our family, and we are the ones that made the choices to exit and are no longer on staff there. But there's still this great sense of loss, and it's a loss of just being able to be a part of those Sunday experiences and watching people engage in worship, and just watching the pieces that the team has worked on all year long, all week long, all weeks long, right? Come together and make this thing. And so we have just been able to be a part of some really, really great experiences. And so I find myself like longing for that, or missing that, or like this deep, deep void of that in my life. And along with that, I think that a huge part of the social part of me, because I am an extrovert and I love to do things. I love a full house. I love to cook for people. I love all of those things. But what we've realized is that our rhythm is not the same. The rhythm that we were accustomed to for all the years that we did ministry here in Nashville is not the rhythm that our life is in now. And so we had this ease, like we knew, okay, Sundays. He's going to work a really long day. So Steve will work like 5:30 in the morning till probably 9 o'clock at night. That is Sundays. That is his job. And, you get used to that. So you're like, okay, here we go. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they're work days. And so you just kind of get used to that rhythm. And on Fridays, he did coaching in the morning, and then we had a date in the afternoon. And then Friday nights was always fun, filled with our friends. And then Saturday was the day that we dedicated to our family. So we did hikes and we spent time with our kids doing different things. And then Sunday happened all over again. And this was the rhythm that we created, that we liked, that we enjoyed, that flowed well with our family. And so coming back, and just so even over the past 2 years, the two different churches, different places, we never quite got that rhythm back. And being back here and being still for a while and really like kind of processing what is the longing, what is the loss, I'm realizing that it's the rhythm of my life that I miss. I miss the way that life flowed. And it's not just me. Like it's not just because we moved that this rhythm changes, because I think the rhythms change through the different seasons that we experience as life goes on. So like, as our kids get older, so the rhythms that we had when our kids were babies is different than the rhythms that we have today. When our twins were tiny, the rhythm that I had, like Steve came home, or I'd like to be home by 6 o'clock, so he had an hour with the kids, and that was the rhythm that we had. We were not super flexible with that rhythm because I knew what worked for our family, and we went with it. And so with the rhythms that change, my mom, she's in a completely different rhythm in her life. She was a nurse for hospice, in charge of a team, and something medically happened, and it threw her off, and now she's at home, retired, and the rhythm of her life has changed, and and it's been challenging to try to figure out what that looks like and how that should look, and what do you want to do, and what do you want it to look like. And sometimes, like our kids grow up and they go off to college, and now we're empty nesters, and the rhythm of our life changes, and how do we adjust with those things? So I just felt like I wanted to share that, because I had said that to somebody else recently, and they were like, "Oh, that's exactly it. That's what we're feeling, is that the rhythm of our life has changed." And so sometimes it just helps to articulate the feelings that we have, so that we can begin to process them and kind of figure out the next steps, and how do we address that, and what rhythm do we want, and how do we reestablish a rhythm, and all those things. And for us too, our kids are older, so the rhythms change. I've got a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old. They're in high school, so they don't want to hang out with us like they used to. And then I've got little kids, but they're not babies. They want to play, so they're cool to have people over, but they'd love those people to have some kids for them to play with, or they want to go to their friends and have play dates. So I'm carting people all over the place now, which is neat. I love this season of life that we're in. But the rhythms change, and so how do we adjust with that? I'd love to hear from you guys. If you've experienced some different changes, different job changes, maybe your kids have grown up, or maybe you've had a baby and the rhythm of your life is changing. Before we had kids, Steve and I, every weekend, we went to the movies on Friday nights with a group of people, and I don't know what we did on Saturdays, probably slept in and chilled, but we had this rhythm. And then we had Isaiah, and Isaiah, when he was really little, we could take him to the movies with us. He was one of those babies that was super compliant. And so, and then as he got big enough to not sit through the movie anymore, then our rhythm of the weekend changed. So it's not just a big, huge move that's changed this rhythm. It's life in general that changes the rhythm. I just finally realized, like, oh, I am longing and mourning the rhythm that I loved about our life, in the relationships, and that, of course, which, we have tons of relationships and friends and people, and so we have a very full life. But how do we reestablish a rhythm that feels right to us, that is sustainable, and that not only Steve and I, but our kids enjoy as well? So I'd love to hear from you guys. How do you guys establish rhythms? What does that look like? Is this like an aha moment, like, oh, maybe that's why I'm so frustrated, or feel down, or feel just not super engaged in this season? I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear about it. I'd love for you to share this video if it means anything to you, and just continue on this journey with me. It's so fun engaging with you all, and just experiencing life together. So I look forward to the next time.